Morning, it's Ed. So, welcome to just another quick video on feedback from work of this week. Today's date being Friday the 19th of June, so this is just work that's been looked at last week. The quality of it is really good again, and those of you that have got it, really well done just in terms of exam questions that I've seen, some of the notes that I've seen, the scores that you're having to get on Educate, which means you're recalling stuff really well. Now, the key thing just I wanted to spend 2 minutes just feeding back to you on were 3 points that quite a lot of people struggled on just in terms of their knowledge retention. Now, similar to last week, just to remind you, extremophiles, organisms that live in really extreme conditions, and these, one of the main examples likes to be talked about are bacteria in hydrothermal vents underneath the ocean near the Earth's crust. And the key thing about these is that, one, the conditions are often high pressure, high salt concentration and high temperature. So those are the kind of extreme conditions which these examples of extremophiles live in. But also extremophiles live in conditions that are extreme for two main reasons: to avoid competition with other species, to try and eat the resources that are there and other species that don't live in these extreme environments, and also to avoid predators. So there are two key things that we just didn't quite grasp in terms of what we were showing in our quiz results this week. The other one is just thinking about adaptations, and one of the adaptations we need to be a little bit more familiar with is that of cactus. Now, cactus you obviously associate with being in particularly dry environments, and they have two main adaptations to allow them to survive in that. One is they have really long searching roots under the ground that allow them to seek out water wherever they can in really dry environments. So the longer, the more widespread the roots, the better. And secondly, spikes on their surface are there to reduce surface area and therefore reduce water loss at the surface area. So rather than having leaves, they have spikes because there's less surface area and therefore releases less water and so retains the water that it needs for photosynthesis. And then finally, just from the work that you looked at in terms of food chains and food webs this week, the key thing to link food chains to is biomass. And biomass is the amount of organic material that makes up a organism or group of organisms. And the key thing to remember is as you go up food chain from prey to different predators and different consumers, the biomass decreases. So if you look at the example, if we're looking at that food chain, there's a lot more mass in the oak trees that are involved in this food chain than there are the combined mass of the sparrowhawks that are in this food chain in this environment. And that's the main reason being is because as energy moves and transferred from the oak tree to the caterpillar to the blue tit to the sparrowhawk, some of it gets transferred and lost along the way to the environment through life processes that each of those organisms carry out. So therefore that means there is less available energy as it goes up the food chain. So therefore the amount of biomass of the species within the food chain as it gets towards the top predator in the food chain decreases and decreases. So those are just your three key feedback points from this week.